Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, Monday, May 9th is our first full Battlegrounds event. They didn't even use the word beta in the post, at least I didn't see one. We're gonna have 4 different metas, a different one each week. Going to start off with Masochism, Power Snack, and Safeguard, which obviously shows there's gonna be a lot of strategy. In fact, I think strategy is one of the biggest components to having success in Battlegrounds itself. But I do believe, and I use this to I got to 105. I was 105th highest ranked player at the last open beta. I made some strategy tweaks, and then of course experience helps. And I want to share those strategies with you, but also I think you can plan for this. I think there is a rankings, and I'll go over them all with you here in this spreadsheet, and I'll explain a little bit of what I'm thinking in each way. And the meta will change, and that's going to be up to you, the individual player. And we'll continue to evolve this spreadsheet and this tier list. I know I'm going to have fun with Battlegrounds. It is definitely a big deal for this game moving forward. But we'll get those out, meaning like here's the meta. Hopefully the meta lasts for more than a week. We'll get those out. But we can start off with the default rankings, because these are things you can rank upon. You can rank your champions up, because obviously when you find out, oh, next week it's going to be Safeguard, you can't just rank up a whole new roster. But there are champions who are going to be good throughout a variety of nodes and metas, and that's what we're going to show today. Also, I'm really excited. I finally made hats and t-shirts. The 2022 t-shirt is inspired by the show Moon Knight. I'm currently wearing the shirt from last year. It was inspired by Loki. I love wearing these shirts. I want them for myself. So I'm going to be buying quite a few. The link is in the description if you feel like checking them out. I always appreciate the support and hope you're happy with your purchase if you do decide to buy them. All right, let's jump straight into this, because I'm just so excited about Battlegrounds. I'm so excited. So you can see how this broken down by the classes. I do think that is important, as the class relationships do come into play very, very frequently, and we'll cover all of the classes. And then I have this broken down into 4 different kind of tiers, let's call them, but you'll get a sense of what they are as we go through them. Now, I think this was really helpful to me. I don't think it was really helpful to me. I know it was really helpful to me, is I went with what I call these 2-way stars. BMcG also uses a very similar term. I think he called them 2-ways in his video. These are champions that are great offensively and or great defensively. Let me rephrase. They're good to great offensively, and they're good to great defensively. They can do either or. And that often, very frequently, allowed me to defeat my opponent on that round 2 or that round 3, because I had so many options where they did not. And I have a top tier. I think there's champions that are just clearly the best in that. Then there's going to be the 2-way alternatives, meaning they also satisfy that requirement of being good to great in both offense and defensive use, maybe just not quite as powerful. And we'll go through this all. Then we're going to get to ones where like these are pure attackers, and I could see a lot of strategy where you want to bring in your pure attackers. We'll go over that. And then we're going to have our pure defenders, where, I mean, come on, no one wants to go up against core, right? Okay, so you got an idea what we're talking about, a little teaser there. Let's go and start this off with the Mystic champions. I'm not going to describe in detail every single one. This would take forever, but some kind of interesting ones that are standing out, or ones I think might have an eyebrow raise, like what is Vega thinking? As we go through, we'll talk about it. Doom, I don't think that needs much explanation. Ma, if you've been watching my channel, you know he has been an absolute beast in Battlegrounds. Mojo, you know, no explanation needed. I think the first one people are gonna be like, what? Dragon Man. He's a great champion. I know I've been talking him up since he basically came into this game. I really love him. He's part of what I love about Battlegrounds. These well-rounded champions who can do a ton of things for you, help you clear a ton of content, but we don't often see them in YouTube videos because they don't have these big yellow numbers, and they're also maybe not the best 1 or 2 champions for clearing a lane or a node, but that doesn't mean they aren't awesome, fun to use, and high quality champions, and that often shows up in Battlegrounds. I love this mode, and that's part of why, is some of these champions that you know, he's not in my top tier of my regular champion rankings, but he's up there. He's up there on there, and he's a champion. I say, like, look, you can rank him up. Dual immune, passive power gain on his own. You get opponents in your corner. You're doing all this big red damage on them. He's a beast. And then you can throw him on defense. And my buddy Nerd, he's on the rankings team. Check out his channel. Some awesome more videos. Always dropping knowledge in them. Said he used Dragon Man, and Dragon Man would prolong fights, often having them take a long time. If he didn't even win those fights on defense, then you could use them in on offense. Really, really solid champion. Moving on down, Man-Thing. Check out B McG's channel for some amazing Man-Thing play, and he really goes over that in his Battlegrounds video too. High quality stuff there. Now, Tigra was someone I kind of debated, and a lot of the folks on the ranking team were like, you could maybe move her up. The reason I don't have her higher up is obviously offensively, she is a knockout. Defensively, I feel like people are getting used to fighting her, but here's the thing. If you feel like maybe not, throw her on defense. You make one mistake against a Tigra and it's at the wrong time, you're dead. You are done. She is going to kill you. So there's that. Sasquatch, we know he'll big defensive beast there, right? So to which part of that with her is that she's just a little bit newer. So I know me, I don't want to go up against her SP2 if I don't need to. And then America Chavez, interesting one. Let's keep our eye on that. I still hope for a buff from her. But DLL, Campo, a lot of folks pointing out, MP Blaze, you know what? She might be someone who's a two-way star here. So let's keep an eye on that. Then there are pure attackers, right? They're just not that good at defense. They really just aren't. Clairvoyant, though, Diablo, Dr. Voodoo could handle some serious problems for you. I could see some real high-level strategies evolving over time where people kind of weigh their deck a certain way. They're hoping to force their opponent into a counter or into basically a trap in a sense. And I could see they're becoming some real high-level strategies. I want to keep an eye on that, watching certain channels like super high-tier stuff. But you could use them, especially if you're very comfortable with them. And then, of course, the defender. We've got our MCoC and our Mordo has even been buffed. I could see him potentially moving himself up to a two-way star, depending on how good that buff is. Defensively, it's going to be a problem. That big passive power gain or that big power gain he gets. Same with MCoC. A lot of folks don't know how to fight him too. So it could be a real-world problem. Could be someone who, if you've ranked them up for Alliance War defense, or maybe you just enjoy playing them, throw them on your deck. You might have some success with them. All right, let's go ahead and check out the science tier now. Go ahead and make this a little bit smaller for you. Okay, science tier. Whew, this was a tough one. This was really tough to separate them out. A lot of two-way stars in the science tier. I just showed science class, showed you how far that class has come. Overseer, I just took him to rank 4. Part of why I took him to rank 4 is one, I love him, but 2, I think he's a beast in this mode. He is a beast in this game mode. There will be some metas, obviously, where he doesn't work out, maybe, but you can still throw him on defense. Can be a real problem. He's going to force counters, and then you can use him offensively to just beat the heck out of some champions, right? All right, Spider-Ham, everyone knows that, right? iBomb, same thing. Mr. Fantastic, I think he's going to be the biggest surprise to people. DLL, who's got a rank 4. Mr. Fantastic, again, check out that rankings team. He reported back. He's like, look, he did great up for me offensively, of course, no surprise, but defensively caused a lot of problems. And I can see that, right? If you don't have someone who can handle evade, he starts getting those debuffs up, you might have a problem there. And even again, just prolonging a fight is sometimes enough. Mr. Negative, I think he could be a two-way full-on star, especially how to use him depending on the meta. Wasp, Campo has been actually taking some fights, tier 1, Masters tier. They were the top 3 Alliance in War last season. Took some fights with Wasp. And then, as you know, if you don't know how to fight her, you're a little uncomfortable, or maybe you're just a little slow baiting one of her heavies, she's going to knock you out. She'll just flat kill you if you place her on defense. Scorpion, the more I play him, the more I like him. He has a lot of versatility, having different immunities and the ability to place different debuffs. I think that could be huge in Battlegrounds. Plus, he's got like a little bit of a tricky evade, and he's new. Might get you some kills. I-Hulk, I don't think we need any real explanation there. Miles, Spider-Gwen. My biggest concern with Spider-Gwen is she might be a little slow in this mode. If you're a Spider-Gwen pro, though, let me know. But my concern is a lot of the great stuff we're seeing with her, or at least I know that I've done or seen, is with Penny Parker synergy, helping her get going a lot faster. So that's a little bit of my concern there, but I think time will tell with her. Attackers, Human Torch, right? I mean, he and Archangel, you just bring them in and, well, we'll talk about that more. Joe Fixit, actually doing some things. DLL used him with some pretty big success there. Red Hulk, I know that he was utilized against me often when I thought I had it all set up. I thought I had my opponent in a corner, and they were just like, nah, dude, we're just going to Red Hulk it and destroy you. Miguel, I really wanted to put Miguel, that's Spider-Man 99. I actually will update that for people because I know not everyone knows his name is Miguel. Spider-Man 99, I don't think he's a great defender. I really don't. And also without the anti-venom synergy, it's going to take him a little bit longer to get going. And then he really needs to place those debuffs. As much as it hurts me because I think he's an amazing champion, don't see him as a two-way star. And even on the attacker sheet currently, and I have a rank 4, I don't think I'd be bringing him in as a pure attacker. Not too often. We'll see. We'll see. I'm really going to watch that because I'm motivated to like him, right? Defenders, Thing. Whew, I got a rank 3 SIG 200 Thing. People auto-banned that guy. They just auto-banned him. And I understand why. It's going to take a long time to kill him, even if you can. Falcon, stuff like that's a good option. MCoC. I know people have ranked up MCoC for Alliance War defense. Maybe there's some offensive use there too. We'll have to see. We'll let time tell on that. And Yellow Jacket, I think you're looking at someone who can maybe prolong the fight. Maybe if if the attacker only has champions who can do big damage with like unblockables left or something like that. I don't know. Really curious on that one. Maybe you can get some surprise kills. If you happen to have a rank 3 Yellow Jacket and you're using him in Battlegrounds, please let me know. I'd be really curious to hear some like first-hand reports on like, no, he was great for me, or like, dude, don't waste your time with Yellow Jacket. It's not worth it. That's how this list is going to evolve. And this is the first one I'm putting out. That's the kind of feedback I'm really, really looking for. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to skill. I mean, it wouldn't be the skill class if we didn't start off with the big boy up top, right? Kingpin. Whew. I mean, even without the Hood synergy, you've heard me say it, Campo say it, MP, Blaze, the whole rankings team, DLL, even if he doesn't shrug those debuffs for you, once he gets to 8, he's gonna go into overcharge, and then he's just gonna hit like a truck. And then defensively, he causes problems. He's someone that people aren't just gonna be able to reliably parry, 5-hit combo and go into it. He's gonna require a specific counter, or he's gonna take a long time. And that's really what you're looking for, again, on defense, in my opinion, is you're looking to buy time. You're not always looking to get the kill. You're just looking for it to take a long time. Hit Monkey, okay, I'm gonna eat those words on having to take a long time. Hit Monkey will kill you in one shot. And obviously he's fantastic offensively. I really love, again, this is the kind of champion that well-made, maybe not all on YouTube all the time, not all the big yellow numbers, but he is a menace. And he's going to cause problems for you. He's someone I know that I can't wait to get to rank 3 to place him on my deck for that offensive and defensive use. And he might actually pick up kills. You're talking about just, I'm talking about having the champion take time as a defender. He's someone who's actually going to get you kills, in my opinion. Nick Fury, same thing, right? He's about time on defense. He's like, hopefully you can take time. The only issue is we're starting to see true direct counters come in for him. We'll talk about that when we get to the mutant class. Mole Man, I actually wasn't going to put Mole Man on, but this is one of those ones where I listen to my rankings team because they are incredibly smart players and they have a large amount of experience that I obviously don't have. It's a collective group. They convinced me that Mole Man should definitely be up there. I originally had him as a 2-way alternate. Jabari, someone who in not too distant future we might see as a 2-way star. DLL has been talking about her a lot, showing her off. Keep an eye on that, especially his channel for that. Black Widow, Deadly Origin, Elsa, Craven, Black Cat. Black Cat, someone we might see move into the attacker phase because she can do some things. In fact, I thought I had people tell me they used her to take out Havocs. Curious on that one. I can kind of see it, but I'm very, very curious. But with her ability to shut off ability accuracy and then do immense damage anytime that should be happening, I'm curious. And I think as she becomes more in the game, as we've gotten used to fighting her, I could see her becoming less of a problem on defense. And that's what I'm saying, coming out of the 2-way alternate, but moving into the attacker phase or the attacker tier here. Misty Knight, she can just go unblockable and stay unblockable. That's a problem. Thor Ragnarok, Ronin Stealth, I think you're probably seeing it. These are offensive use, can do a lot of damage. And then if people don't play Thor correctly or manage his passive power gain, maybe he's getting killed or he's going to take some time. Stealthy with that evade, that sort of thing. Ronin can be a little bit of a headache. We'll see on those. But that's why they're on the 2-way alternatives, right? This is all about how you want to build your deck. And then let's go ahead and scroll on down. Skill has a lot of these pure attackers. Crossbones, Falcons, they can handle so much for you because they can shut off those defensive ability accuracy. That's a big, big deal. You can use them to beat up champions like Thing and then across the board. That's a thing. Shang-Chi, as much as I would love, I wish I'd put him high. I wish I could, but I can't. He's not a good defender. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And you're often going to want him for the slow. The problem is that it's a debuff. So I feel like not a good defender. Plus there's going to be metas. They're going to be not easy, but they're going not easily defeat him, but they're going to challenge him. So as much as I love him, I can't in good faith put him up there and recommend you put him up higher. Hawkeye, keep your eye on Hawkeye. I think he could be a real beast for this mode. Black Panther, Gwenpool, Karnak, Masakre, attacking use, your champion. If you're looking at them and you're thinking to put them as an attacker, you know why. I don't think I need to explain that to you because you already know, your roster. And then Korg. Korg is going to be a menace. You're going to want a specific counter for him. People learned how to fight him, but he's been in the game so long. I do feel like things are almost coming like a bit of a 180 or maybe a full circle is the term in that SP1 evade. Like I know I've gotten really bad at it because it's just been so long since I've had to fight a tough Korg. But that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. And if someone has an R3 Korg or goodness gracious, a rank 4 Korg, I'm going to really hope I have a very specific counter for him if and when I need to fight him. So keep that in mind. All right, now let's go ahead and get on to the mutant class. I know this is going to look weird to some of you. If you've been following my channel for a while though, you are not surprised at all. Bishop is a monster. We're just talking about, champions like Korg or these ones where they're going to require very specific counters. His punishment of champions who are shrugging his stuns or that incinerate off of his steady release or off of SP1, that's a massive source of damage. Plus he is just neutralizing that shrugging ability that's from skill champions. Ooh. And you put him on defense, he requires specific counters. He's like, what I talk about a two-way star, he's like the picture of it for me, especially in that mutant class. Wolverine Weapon X, same thing. He can do enough damage that he's really going to help you offensively. And then defensively, once he goes into, as I think it's called Berserk mode or whatever, he clips you once or twice and bleeds, you're going to die. It's just the fact of the matter. Havoc can cause some serious problems. Really requires you to have that champion with an armor up or some seriously skilled play. Like I said, someone told me that they used Black Cat to handle him. I'd like to see that a few times, but I'm going to believe them for now. But even without that, Havoc he's a problem causer. Domino is still causing problems in Masters Tier 1 War. Excellent players are going in, having a fight, it looks like they've won it, and then they make one small mistake and all of a sudden they've died. She can do that for you. I know I'm still going to be placing my Domino very frequently on defense. And then Magneto, I actually had him as a two-way alternate because I just don't enjoy playing him. But then again, Nerd really brought it up and kind of hammered it home for me. He's like, look, dude, he's going to take his ability to just dismantle metal is still so strong in this game. Fights that where you're going up against a metal defender, or there's so many metal attackers, and as strategy goes on, you get to that second and that third round against an opponent, if you could place your Magneto on defense and all they have left is metal champions, it's at a minimum going to take time. And that's, again, a really, really big deal. Toad. If you've been watching my channel, you know I'm really excited about Toad. I've taken mine to rank 3. I've awakened him. He's very good offensively. I think he's going to win me some fights, and I'm looking forward to placing him on defense and seeing how that pans out. Now, the jury is still out, and that's why I don't want to put him higher. I don't want to get people overexcited about him and then have us find out, like, actually, But I think he's going to be a problem. I'm very excited to use him, and he's someone I'm going to test over these next 2, 3, 4 weeks and see how he does. APOC is just a monster. Emma Storm, she's got that ability to handle those passives there, right? Like when people shrug things. Professor X, I wish I could put him higher. The problem is he does take a bit of a ramp, and you've only got 2 minutes. Kitty, Strife is actually causing some problems to people. Remember, he's got that miss mechanic. Prolong some fights, maybe get a kill or 2, but prolonging fights, that's a big deal. And then let's go ahead and scroll on down and look at the pure attacker phase. There's no shortage of them in the mutant class. Archangel, Omega Red, in fact, Slaymon, an amazing Omega Red player, really smart, but putting out some great war videos, really a lot of teaching. You know the war videos I like, right? It's high skill, but they're also explaining what's going on. Check out his channel. He's in the rankings team. Really great Omega Red player, and he told me he's like, dude, he should be in the attacker tier or in the all around tier. I was like, really? Like defense though? Like I'm not seeing it. And he's like, listen, trust me. So I'm gonna really keep an eye on that. Maybe we can convince them on to stream or show some videos or something like that. I'm very excited and interested to see that. See Omega Red being a defensive problem as well, but even without those synergies, the Saber-tooth synergy, he can be a problem on offense. He really can be, especially if you've got like a SIG 200 rank 3 or rank 4. And then you can see the rest of them on down there. I can see the video starting to take a while. But you can see the rest of the list there. That could be a really helpful to you offensively, especially if you're skilled with them and they're helping you fill out your roster. Filling holes basically where you've got a weak spot and you want to bring in someone, okay? OG Storm, I think, might get moved higher up on that list, by the way. Fluffy Pick Monster is telling me some stuff he's been doing with Storm. Oh boy. All right, so Defender tier, Nightcrawler. I know it's debated. I know he's been in the game a long time, and I know some people are like, dude, I know how to make him switch his stances. Okay, all right, I'm gonna believe you, but I know that if I go up against a Nightcrawler, I'm gonna want someone who can handle evade, or I'm gonna hope I can reliably parry. I'm gonna hope I can reliably parry, because making him switch his stances does not always work. It depends on the update, and I don't know. I don't want to fight too many rank 3, rank 4 Nightcrawlers. Let's just put it out there. I'm not saying you should rank that up. I'm saying I don't want to fight them. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at what's next. Probably tech. Yeah, I followed the class wheel on this one. I think Rob Hop will like that. I hope he does. I'm trying to make you proud, Rob. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get on to the tech tier. The Nightmare herself, Penny Parker. Oh goodness gracious! They even fixed her. She was bugged, and she was bugged in a pro player way, or as an attacker way. You now can't punish her SP1 or her heavy with your heavy. She will auto block that and power burn you. So she's gotten worse. You really want to make sure you have counters for her. And then I alluded to this earlier with Fury. There's starting to be counters to him. There's not a lot, but she can just completely cancel out his second life if she's awakened. It's really awesome. I was able to use it a few times. It helped me win some Battlegrounds matchups against like really awesome players. So she's definitely got her uses. You can get that nice, huge SP2 incinerate damage going. And then again, monster defensive champion. Mega Sentinel. I have a rank 4 Mega Sentinel, and people, I don't know why, they just banned her every time. I think I got to use her like twice. And then White Mummy actually showed me some really pretty cool uses. It seems like maybe she can handle Nick Fury too, that just by canceling out a second life. I'm a little surprised by that, but it's a real thing. It happens. So there it is. Warlock can be a two-way Nightmare, and then Nimrod, of course, as well. Two-way alternatives here. Cap Sam, Guardian, Sentinel, Hulkbuster, Doc Ock, and Mysterio. Doc Ock is up there because I know people did some really nice things in the Safeguard meta against him. And then you're like, defensively though, the thing is, and I mentioned this, his animations, they just sneak up on you. And with the control issues that we're still having today in this game, I bet you he's going to get some kills and knock some, or at least take some life out, folks. Let's just put it that way. All right, and then let's go ahead and move on down. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how I had Silver Centurion as an actual MVP for me in the Safeguard meta. His ability to do that damage and turn those into passives was a really, really big deal. So he's someone you can definitely consider. Sparky can do a lot, and then he's got that nice power drain, able to dish out damage in a quick period of time, which is a big deal in this mode. Nebula, same thing, cutting off the ability accuracy of robots, and then the massive shock damage. And then War Machine. He's got a ton of utility. You can use his pre-fights, and then that SP1 of his, I think, could be really helpful against some mutants, and then depending on the meta too. So keep that in mind. He might be someone who you're looking to bring in, especially as we see different metas start to happen. There's no pure defenders for the tech class. I thought about Dark Hawk, but I don't know. I just don't see him up there yet. You let me know though if you think that's a mistake. And then let's move on to the final class here, which is, gotta actually make this graphic a little bit smaller so we can see it. There we go. Everyone is happy now. Cosmic. No surprise. Hercules. He is apparently good at this game. He can be a problem defensively and definitely can take some time. I had some really nice fights with my rank 3 Mop against rank 4 Hercules. I could have maybe played them a little bit better, but I timed out. And again, that's what you're looking for. Hyperion. Hyperion's just a beast, right? We don't need to explain that. Null. People are terrified of Null. Good players are terrified of Null. Reverse control scares the heck out of everybody. You have a high signal, it's going to start with all those debuffs on him, and then offensively, he does so much damage. And keep in mind, and this was one of the things I liked about him, he doesn't gain buffs. He's not immune to them, so he'll gain the dex buff. right? But he doesn't just on his own gain them. That can be a really interesting thing depending on the meta. So keep that in mind with him. King Groot, I used him to beat up on a Killmonger. This was like the kind of strategy I was talking about. I'm pretty sure my opponent thought, I think I got Vega on this one, place their Killmonger. I was like, I'm gonna go with King Groot. And he had enough damage where he beat up that Killmonger, and I even made some mistakes. And he's so beefy and he heals. I came out of it with a ton of life. Then you throw him on defense. Again, he's so big and he heals. He's gonna delay those fights for you, which is a really big deal. Arcus is someone I thought about putting up a tier. Let me know what your experience is with Arcus, but keep in mind he can shut off robots too. The ability accuracy, the power gain, maybe prolong some fights defensively, require a specific counter. I feel that way about Arcus, definitely Cersei, potentially Medusa. Icarus, I think he's going to catch a lot of people. You got to fight him a very, very specific way, or you could get yourself into some problems. BMcG talked a lot about Silver Surfer and was very surprised at how effective he was in the, at least in the safeguard meta. Let's see how that kind of figures out. I have him in the two-way as opposed to pure attacker because I could see him prolonging some fights. And remember, he does have a miss mechanic. And so if you aren't used to that, or if you're not prepared for it, I could see it catching people off guard. We may move him down into the pure attacker tier or designation, but I want to wait and see that happen. I'd like to get some feedback from you, the viewers, and your experience as we go on with this before I make that change. And then let's go ahead and take a quick look at the pure attackers. The ones I really want to talk about, because I don't think that'll surprise too many people. Maybe Gamora is surprising you, but if that is, please check out the video on my channel I did not long ago. I'm really happy with that buff. I think it's a high quality buff. She can do significant damage, but the big deal for me was you just get to 8 buffs and she flat out can't miss, and she gets to 8 buffs very quickly. And in a mode like this, quick is often pretty valuable. Captain Marvel movie, I could see like in some high energy damage type matchups, I could see her ramping up and getting there for you. Odin's a beast. The two I want to point out are Venompool and Venom. They're not good defenders, but with the amount of Spider-Verse evade champions that might be coming into the game, or you might have to face them potentially as defenders. And even more important, as we just talked about, Penny Parker has been fixed. She became more of a nightmare. I don't know how that was possible, but it's actually happened. And having a champion like those two who can do good damage against her and they're immune to her power burn, that's really important. I think there's someone who you're going to want to bring along. If you get caught without one and you don't ban the Penny, you could see yourself having some real trouble. I'm going to try out my Terrax. I'm going to have a lot of fun the next 3 or 4 weeks figuring some of this stuff out, testing it more and more. But I think Venompool and Venom are going to show their mettle for us here. And then Nova and Skrull, tough defenders. We've seen this in this current meta, especially with Super Skrull. Obviously, the meta, the unstoppable armor won't be there for the unstoppable armor that like tier 1, I think tier 1 and tier 2 war has been having. That should not be. We're not seeing that as, oh, please do not put it in as the meta for Battlegrounds Kabam. But in a 2-minute fight, they might be able to prolong it long enough and then force your the attacker to try to hurry up, go fast, make some mistakes, maybe get a kill, if not take off a significant amount of life. So this was the first one. I was pumped up to get this out, spent a ton of time on it because most of my work on this had been just for my own roster. But this is really it, and I'm comfortable sharing my strategy. I'm going to stream this a ton. I'm going to talk about it, have a lot of fun. I am pumped up on this game mode, and that's basically what you're going to see. I'm going to do everything I can to get every single champion in that top 2-way all-star tier as a rank 3 champion. My rank 4s will be prioritized in that, especially if they have like war use too, or if they have high prestige. And then I will start to fill out my 2-way alternate. So that way, when the meta changes or shifts, I can bring them along. And then the attackers and defenders, I might start to consider that. I don't know if I'm going to go for pure defenders, and I'll tell you why. I feel like, I hope that, I don't know if I'm going to be in the top 100, but I think I'm going to be in a high tier of this. And I feel like as a result, people are going to have very developed rosters. And so if someone brings in a Korg, or if I bring in a Korg, they're going to be like, that's cool, man. We've got Bishop and Storm Pyramid X and Omega Red. they're going to have answers to them. And so I feel like I'm going to lose out on what I want, which is, again, that strategy, that ability. When we get down to those final 2 or 3 picks, I have more options than my opponent. I won so many of my matchups because of that. The player may have even been better than me. In fact, a couple times I know I was. I like to say this because he's cool with it, and he knows I know he's a better player than me. But I faced Legacy twice, and I beat him both times. He's a better player than me. But my roster and the strategy I used going into it gave me the advantage. It gave me the opportunity to win both of them. I don't know. That's my advice. I absolutely love this. If you've made it this far, do me a big favor. Let me know what adjustments you'd like to see with this. I don't know how many emojis and things like that we'll ever do, because there's going to be the default rankings, and I don't think I'll do them every month. A lot of it's going to depend on how often Kabam changes up the meta and things like that. But we will be getting new champions every month, so maybe I'll do like an update. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But just let me know, because your ideas helped me so much in changing and evolving the format of the general tier list. I really appreciate it so much. I hope you enjoy Battlegrounds. I hope it goes in. I hope it goes smooth for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.